but it's about Muslims who have disabilities, right? So the founder has a disability himself, and his wife, who passed away a long time ago, who was actually the real founder. They really encouraged me to study about disabilities, right? Because a lot of Muslims who have disabilities and people who are being oppressive, whether they have a disability or because of their skin color, right? So I've been studying a little about psychology, right? And I start realizing, and also Brother Hanif gave me recommend some good books to read about our people issue related to psychotherapy and psychology. I start reading them, and I start noticing with our community, the Black African American Muslim community, is that we view Islam, in my opinion, not all of us, but we do view Islam as a novelty, because we live in a country where religion is a personal choice. Either you're religious or not, or you choose a certain religion or not. So this is part of individualism. So we look at Islam as an individual choice, right? Not collectively as a community choice. And so we see everything else in Islam, whether Islamic rulings, whether halal or haram, permissible or not, and part of Islam working together, we see these things as novelty, whether I do it or I look at it as voluntarily, not as I'm obliged to do it. I look at everything in Islam as an individual choice and voluntarily. So this is why we have these type of behaviors in our community, and we have the Muslims, African American Muslims, have these approaches with Islam that's like a novelist. Somebody is like a beginner in something, or he does these things based on if he like it or not. And we don't embrace Islam as to be our religion as a community, but as an individual choice. This is part of Western culture. This is part of Eurocentric thinking. It's called individualism. We practice Islam as individualism, as a community. And I give you another example. I gave a lot of people shahada. No, I've been imam in the mosque for 4 years, but I've been giving dawah a long time where I live. And I'm telling you something. I gave some Latino shahada. Sister was Dominican. I'm gonna tell you about Latinos because one of my first Arabic teachers was actually from Argentina, right? And he used to tell me I need to marry a Latina. He used to always tell me that, right? So he was like, in his community, I should go with him. I went to Egypt, came back. He went to Europe. I took over his students and stuff. The Latino, when one of them takes shahada, I noticed they come back with the mother, the sister, the grandfather, the whole family. I got one of my friends, he's Dominican. I hope he see this video. His wife is Mexican. And you see in Mexico, he go to Mexico, he takes pictures and he writes articles in Islamic magazine. You see in Mexico, the whole community takes shahada. Not just that one person, the whole family, then the whole community takes shahada. That's people who work together as a community. Even when they take shahada, they come to Islam together as a group. You don't see them videos in Africa and in Southeast Asia when they go to some village in Africa, giving dawah, and the whole village take shahada. See, these are people who are practicing things collectively. Islam is a collective choice for their community. You don't see in the seerah of the Prophet when he was giving dawah to certain nations that he first gave the invitation to Islam to the leader of the country. The first invitation to Islam when he was in jihad, he first sent the invitation to the leader. And if the leader embraced Islam, then the whole country or the whole community embraced Islam. See, the African American Muslim, we're practicing this individualism, which doesn't help us. It supports the slave mentality, and it support this individualism, us working to support this system in this country. That's right. That's why they wrote that Forbes article. The Forbes article about the $300 billion spending money of African Americans. Actually was 47 trillion, but it said there's $300 billion. That article was written for corporations. Corporation. Huh? So they looking to get your money, collectively working to get your individually money. But we can't work together as a group and as a community. That's the slave mentality. That's what slavery instilled this in us, so we could be good slaves and good slave labor and good slave workers to make them rich. But we cannot enrich our community with this type of thinking. So we need to stop looking. We need to stop looking at Islam as an individual choice, but it's not just our way of life, but as a community. I say it again, in the African American Muslim masjids, we never discuss what's after the shahada of the community. Some people will not be able to get this concept. And the African American Muslim community, they don't talk about what's next after the Shahada. I'm not talking about as an individual, as a community. What's the next move, the next goal? That's why in your community, sister, where it's Muslims from overseas who are been Muslims for centuries, they what? What's next for the community? We are Muslim now. What's next for the community? Okay, let's get land. Let's buy property for the community. They expand. Next move for them might be, hey, let's run for the local. Let's get control of the local politics. Let's get control of the school system. Let's get control of this. Let's influence the society using Islam. Let's be a good example for these peoples. But the African American Muslim community, we're not thinking like this. Alhamdulillah, that's the benefit of me. Allah allow me to travel and live in a Muslim land. I've seen this with my own eyes. But we're not practicing Islam as we should be. My name is Abu Bara. I am the founder of Black American Muslim Opinions. We are just getting started. Our mission is to openly discuss and examine social issues faced by Black Americans in their communities and formulate solutions that can be implemented in these communities from an Islamic perspective. We need your support to keep the organization going. Your donations will help us do the work necessary to help Black people overcome their social and economic challenges. Visit our website and learn more about what we do.